in a whole different direction there. Now, so this next section is going to be a little bit different, but I thought when I saw this, I was like, I have to include it. This is going to be a little bit of a HDTH true crime edition, and I'm gonna tell you guys about how a ladder once solved a crime. So there's the famous case of the Lindbergh baby. The Lindbergh baby is still considered to be unsolved to some people, and there are disagreements over the quality and existence of some of the evidence used to convict old Bruno Richard Hauptmann of the kidnap and murder of Charles Lindbergh Jr. So, the Lindbergh baby was found to be missing from his crib at around 10 p.m. on the 1st of March, 1932. The body of the child was found on the 12th of May, which was, it's at least, 2 months later, in a nearby township and appeared to have been hastily buried but dug up by wild animals. A ransom note was found on the windowsill, along with a chisel and a wooden dowel. They were also found on the grounds of the home. And one other piece of evidence was also found, which was the ladder. There was a ladder found in some bushes near the house, and it was found in pieces and was designed to be collapsible. So Hauptmann, Hauptmann, was captured as a suspect in 1934 when a bill from the ransom money was discovered at a New York City bank. A license plate number was written on the note, which led investigators to old Hauptmann. A clerk at a petrol station had written the number down on the bill, as the man who tendered it was acting suspiciously. So basically, he paid for something, and then, like, the guy was like, "This guy's acting so weird. I got to write this guy's license plate number down." I don't know if that was a thing that happened back then, but like, I'm just wondering, like, how, like, this dude's behavior must have been wild. The investigators look into the license plate, and they search, and they find it does link back to old Hauptmann. And they search his home and find $13,000 of that ransom money hidden around his house, as well as a sketch detailing the construction of the same ladder that they found at the scene of the crime, and a piece of the wood in the attic that turned out to match some of the same wood for the ladder. So this guy he sketches out a picture of a ladder that he intends to makes the ladder, uses the ladder in the commission of a crime, leaves the ladder at the crime, and then just does that. Why wouldn't you throw away that picture? It couldn't have been a great picture. He wasn't going to frame it. I mean, maybe it was on the front of the fridge, with some magnets, but like, geez, throw the picture away, hot man. So he told investigators that the money had been left with him by a former business partner who had since returned from Germany and died. And he also said that he was not aware that there was any money in the box left with him until after his associate Isidore Fisher had passed away. However, the piece of wood found in the attic was the most important piece of evidence linking him to the crime, and wood expert Arthur Kohler, good job, good name, identified 3 samples of the wood from the ladder shortly after the crime and was then asked to study the ladder itself. After the police traced Hauptmann through the ransom bill back to his house, Kohler, the old wood expert, was able to use forensic techniques to match the wood used to construct the ladder with wood found in the attic, even going so far as to trace the wood back to the sawmill where it was processed. Wow. So he was executed in 1936 for the kidnap and murder of the Lindbergh baby. And I must say, all this extra stuff, I'm trying to throw, some shade on whether or not this guy has something to do with the baby. It's like no one has a picture of a ladder in their house, of an actual ladder that exists, unless you drew and made that ladder. Like, if you came to my house right now and found a ladder, a picture of a ladder that had been used in the commission of a crime of killing some child, like I probably did it. You know what I mean? Like, but there's not. But I'm saying, like, you can't come in here and be like, oh, that's some guy who came back from Germany. He's dead now, so we'll move on. Like, no, man, no. And so that has been a short-lived segment of HDH True Crime Edition. Like I said, I just thought it was a pretty cool thing. We're talking about ladders, and there's actually like an instance where like ladders play into like real life. I don't know. And that is how ladders happened. And now it's time for the roundup. And we're going to round it up. The exact origin of the ladder is still up for debate. The first depiction of humans using ladders comes from a painting on a wall in Spain. The first stepladder was created in 1862 by John Balsey. Ladders would go on to be made of a number of different materials. Things I didn't know before. and now I know them. Never heard of these things. What are they? Things I didn't know before. Let's see. So, one thing I didn't mention really with this is safety. Safety with ladders is something I didn't really mention too much this episode. It's something I was thinking about. I always think about. I've read books where people have fallen and hurt themselves. And Artie Lang, the comedian, I read his book. His father worked on roofs when he was a kid, and he fell and I think was paralyzed from the neck down for the rest of his life from a fall from a ladder accident. And so it says that over 500,000 people each year you have some sort of ladder accident, and their ladder falls result in at least about 300 deaths a year. That's something I didn't know. I'm guessing that's just in America. That statistic, it wasn't that specific, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's something to think about. It's something I didn't know before. I've always been safe around ladders. My dad's always instilled a real kind of fear, which seems to be necessary in being on ladders and stuff like that. And that brings us to our next one, actually. Something that I didn't really think about, but this article I was reading said that ladders are actually made for short tasks, like tasks that don't take that long to do. If it takes more than 30 minutes to do, then you shouldn't actually be doing it with a ladder. You should find some other, it says alternative equipment, basically, is what you should try to do, which I never thought about. I think I've definitely been on a ladder for more than a half an hour. I definitely have. I've definitely taken breaks, and I'm not at one point. I've never worked in a capacity where I had to have a ladder, but I just mean like cleaning the gutters or putting up Christmas decorations or just working on stuff, in the yard. But yeah, it's something to think about. So think about this, guys. If you're doing it for more than 30 minutes, you should find something else to stand on. It's probably smart. It's probably for your health. Let's see. The last one we have here is just a fun fact. This is the Guinness Book of World Records credits Thomas Hollerer of the Handwerks Museum in Austria with making the world's longest ladder, and this was back in April of 2005. So who knows if someone's beat this guy's record? Some guy's just like sitting in his garage, just like chomping at the bit to try to make the next world's tallest ladder. But they had 120 rungs, and it reached up to 135 feet long. So that was the world's longest ladder in 2005. If you want any more fun facts from 2004, that'll be next episode. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of HDTH. Hope to see you guys out there on the Twitter feed. Like and subscribe wherever you consume your podcast. That would be great. Always helpful. And we'll see you guys next week.